I praise the Lord for being here, and I was just thinking today, when Tommy asked me to do this, I can't do this. I can't do this in myself. I cannot, and I kept waiting for Tommy to call today, and I had in my mind, I'm not going to call him, because Lord, in myself, I really don't want to do this. I don't enjoy telling all the ugly details of my life. But I want to help someone out there, and I'm sure that there is someone out there today that needs to hear this, that they've given up hope. I had given up hope, but I had a sister, Donna, that never gave up hope on me. She prayed for me. She prayed and prayed for me, and she prayed many times. And when I got on them drugs, I would go out there. I would go out there in the world, and she'd pray for me and bring me back. It would bring me back in for a while, but then I would go right back out there. But, I want to tell this in a way that it will touch someone's heart. But, I cannot do this in myself. I cannot, and I need the Lord to help me. I beg the Lord to help me to do this. Lord, just give me strength. Just give me strength. But the Lord's been good to me. And I do have a good life now. I do. And I praise the Lord for it. But just a few years ago, exactly 7 years, 6 months, and 2 days ago, I was a drug addict. I was a drug addict, and I was without hope. I had no hope. I had went out there so far that I had nothing. I had nothing. The day my sister picked me up, I was standing on the side of the street, and I had just a little Walmart bag in my left hand, and if there was a curling brush sticking out of the side of it, and that's all I had to my name. And I was filthy, and I was stinking, and I was a drug addict. I was hooked on cocaine and alcohol. There was one time I didn't consider myself an alcoholic because I could go days and days and months without drinking. But when I would drink, I just kept drinking, and at that time I considered myself not an alcoholic. But I am. I was an alcoholic, and I was a drug addict. But that day she picked me up on the side of that street. I was filthy, and I was dirty, and I was stinking. And I don't know when I'd taken a bath or when I'd eaten a bite of food or when I'd even been in a bed, because she told me I was stinking, and she had to take me to Walmart, and she locked me in a car. I can remember the words she told me. She said, "You don't get out and you don't let no one in until I come back." She had to treat me like a little child. I was in such a shape that I had no idea what I was doing exactly. When she come back, I was trying to take my clothes off because in my mind, she was bringing me clean clothes to put on. But she had to help me dress myself because I was in such a shape I could not do that. I could not either take my clothes off or put my clothes on by myself. I was in such a shape. But she picked me up. And that day when she did that, she had to beg her husband to let her come and get me. One more, she said, "Just let me come one more time. Let me try one more time." Because she had tried so many times before and come and got me. And I had just went back out and got worse and worse than I was. And I even went to drug rehab. And they kept me in there a week and sent me home. I got out on June the 28th, and by July the 4th, I was in worse shape than I'd ever been in my life. But the Lord, He brought me out of that. And He sent me help that day when I was on the side of that street, and she picked me up. She took me to my daughter's house, my youngest daughter. And my youngest daughter's handicapped. She's in a wheelchair. And I remember she opened that door, and she was sitting there in that wheelchair. That was my baby. And she had to see me in that shape. I can remember the shame that I felt. The shame that I felt that day. That my baby had to see me in that shape. And I remember I asked her, I said, "Can I just go to bed and sleep?" And she let me. She said, "I'll go to bed and sleep." And that's what I did. The next morning I got up, and I was in such a shape. I was a mess because I had started coming down off the drugs. And that morning, I think in my mind the Lord delivered me that day when He sent my sister to pick me up, because I had drugs on me that day when I woke up. And I got rid of those. I didn't take them. I think I took one. I said, if I don't get rid of these, I'll take more. So I got rid of them. And then my other sister, Frances, my baby sister, she come and got me that day and took me home with her. And I went to bed early. I went to bed and slept that night. I slept good. The next day, I felt pretty good. I cleaned her house. And then that night, which was March the 28th, I went to bed early. And something woke me up. I don't even know what time it was, but it was like a big jolt. I didn't feel any pain, no pain, but something woke me up, and it's like it startled me. And I couldn't breathe. I couldn't take one breath. I tried, and I could not breathe. And I knew in my mind that I was dying, and I thought, Lord, in my mind, I couldn't speak. And I didn't know how to pray even.